Very good afternoon to all of you, Venerable Mahasangha, and the distinguished participants. You all are welcome to the third International Conference on Social Sciences 2016, organized by the Research Center for Faculty of Social Sciences, University of Kelaniya. Now we mark the arrival of the Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. P.B. Abekon, the Secretary to the President, the Chairman of University Grants Commission, Professor Mohan De Silva, the Deans of the respective faculties of University of Kelaniya, and all the participants of the conference. Please rise from your seats for the faculty anthem. Thank you. Again, you all are warmly welcome for the third International Conference on Social Sciences 2016, based on the theme of Global Challenges in Development Social Sciences Perspective. The uniqueness of this conference is that it comprises of 4 panel discussions focused on several outstanding themes, such as reconciliation, water management, disaster management, and waste management. So now that I cordially invite the Dean, Faculty of Social Sciences, Professor A.H.M.H. Aberatna, to declare the conference open for the aforesaid academic dialogue.
This is to declare that the third International Conference on Social Sciences 2016 is now open. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Each successful academic event is a result of an enormous effort and commitment by a number of key personalities involved in it. So I do warmly call upon the stage Dr. M.G. Kularatna, one of the chief coordinators of the conference, as well as the coordinator for the Research Center for Social Sciences, to deliver the welcome speech.
Hi, Bohan. Very good evening for everybody. Venerable Mahasangha, it deemed it my privilege to welcome the chief guest of the occasion, Mr. P.B. Abekon, Secretary to the President, Government of Sri Lanka, for being with us on this momentous occasion when we celebrate the intellectual spirit of the university in the form of this international conference, ICSS 2016. You are warmly welcome for this occasion once again. The Senior Professor Mohanjit Silla, Chairman, University Grant Commission. Welcome in this occasion where not only we are going to listen and speak to each other on matters which concern all of us in some form of the other. The Faculty of Social Sciences, through the international conferences in social sciences, of which this is the 3rd edition, Senior Professor Sunanda Madhuma Bandara, our Vice Chancellor, University of Kelaniya, who initiated this journey in 2008, has been the force behind this. We warmly welcome you, sir. The Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences, Professor A.H.M.H. Aberatna, has guided us all along, and I warmly welcome you to this occasion. Together, we renew our commitment to find lasting solutions to some complex problems that challenges all. There could have been no better place than here to pledge our commitment for this challenge. In the presence of such distinguished group of intellects gathered here in our home, we are supported in this mission by all the deans of the faculties of University of Kelaniya. We welcome you all. I'm happy to welcome Professor Kamarul Shan Askanda, Professor of Peace and Complex, University of Saint Malaysia, our keynote speaker, together with other invited academics, even though some of them are not here around with us right now, and researchers, practitioners, such as Professor J.B. Disanayaka, Professor C.M. Madhuma Bandara, Professor Rakesh Bhattabayal, Professor Priyantha Yapa, Dr. Tilak Malawarachi, Dr. Premachandra Wattage, Engineer ADS Gunawardana, and inventor ERS Technology, Sichini Sumosa with his group. to name a few. With about 280 papers from participants from Poland, Pakistan, India, Nigeria, Japan, Russia, and obviously from different universities and institutes of Sri Lanka. We have a lot to learn and share. I'm happy to note, while I am welcoming all the head of the departments of our university and the academic staff, librarian, and their staff of our university, that they help us acquire a reputation in academic excellence. I'm sure in this event will add to our reputation and help extend links to the policy community. And our registrar and bursar and all the administrative staff are also with us, and I welcome you all to ICSS 2016. Last but not least, we welcome all presenters and participants. We could not have done this without you. Thank you very much for coming, and I welcome you all. This year we are looking for a new theme for our conference. We wanted to be forward-looking and at the same time work with our policymakers to support them in their missions to prepare Sri Lanka for a global future, a future full of new opportunities that often discussed as a problem. In this conference, we have chosen few such global challenges to focus on intellectual discourse. We hope we will contribute to advance over the ongoing regional and global effort to find solution to some of these big problems. Without good solution, these have the potential to threaten our own existence. They include the unprecedented change in the global climate, an increase in trend in different forms of violence and disaster linked to natural and social causes, our own inability to contain our waste, and the sustainable management of water resources. It can be hidden issues in this country, but academics and researchers can clearly see this. All of which are critical to advance our nation and our region. We have dedicated to day 2, that is tomorrow, of the conference to look at these issues in detail to find opportunities. We will explore what are the reasons behind those problems, and we will try our best to find some solution based on our research and our expertise. Have a good conference. Share your experience with others and guide our younger talented whenever you can. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. The University of Kelaniya is one of the pioneer universities in Sri Lanka, which has its historical roots in Vidyalankara Pirivena, Paliyagoda. At present, the university consists of 7 respective faculties, including almost 50 academic departments, along with 3 affiliated institutes. Under the vision to become a center of excellence in creation and dissemination of knowledge for sustainable development, the university has upgraded its academic excellence in many ways to cater local and international students in both graduate and postgraduate degrees. The next short documentary in the agenda is a constructive proof which will let you know how it has been nurturing the intellectual citizens through creativity and innovation in order to contribute to the national development.
excellence in a range of academic disciplines represents a meeting point of the age-old Vidyalankara tradition, the Sri Lankan national identity and international recognition. Situated upon the beautiful banks of the Kelaniya River, it is a popular academic destination for both Sri Lankan and foreign students, especially those who are interested in Buddhist and Pali studies, arts and languages, both Oriental and Occidental, as the university is a pioneering center of excellence in these subjects among the universities in Sri Lanka. Moreover, the University of Kelaniya has initiated numerous research endeavors in both social and pure sciences. The newly established Palm Leaf Manuscript Study and Research Library is a unique accomplishment of the university, and it has achieved great heights in discovering the indigenous Sri Lankan knowledge preserved in the age-old palm leaf manuscripts. At the moment, the Palm Leaf Manuscript Library is home to thousands of manuscripts that represent indigenous knowledge in native medicine, folklore, rituals, and esoteric sciences. The Faculty of Social Sciences conduct high-impact research in a broad range of disciplines such as history, archaeology, economics, political science, tourism and heritage management, geography, philosophy, mass communication, and sports management. There is also an emerging body of research in the branches of pure science such as horticulture, the consumption of pure coconut oil, botany, aquatic plants, and animal sciences, which is recognized both locally and internationally. The Faculty of Medicine celebrated its Silver Jubilee in the year of 2016. Its contribution to the health and well-being of the nation, especially through research on thalassemia, dengue, liver transplants, and DNA, is outstanding. At the same time, although the Faculty of Commerce and Management Studies is relatively young, its contribution to knowledge in the field is immense. The University of Kelaniya is equipped with state-of-art resources and infrastructure facilities that has revolutionized the student learning and the dissemination of knowledge by the scholars. The establishment of a brand new Faculty of Computer Studies and Technology and a free Wi-Fi zone are some of the recent remarkable accomplishments of the university. University of Kelaniya. We have brought creativity and intelligence to the banks of the Kelaniya River.
We are very much pleased to have the presence of our Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. P.B. Abekon, the Secretary to the President, who is one of the remarkable alumnus of our university, holding the top administrative position in the country, which we all can be proud of. Dear sir, you are cordially invited to address our gathering on this special occasion.
Honorable Mahasangha, Professor Mohan Silva, Chairman, Ministry of Grant Commission, Professor Swananda Madhum Bandara, Vice Chancellor, Professor Abeyratna, Dean, Faculty of Social Science, all deans from other faculties, University of Kelaniya, Professor Councilman Askanda, Professor of Peace and Conflict, USM, Malaysia, University of Malaysia. Other ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure to be here at the University of Kelaniya, which is my own university. I am also a graduate of this university. Excuse me. I thank the Vice Chancellor, Senior Professor Sunanda Madhum Bandar for inviting me to this International Conference on Social Science 2016, organized by Research Center for Social Sciences, University of Kelaniya. We are all aware that technology had played a vital role in the modern development. The most significant technological invention of the modern history is the steam of engine invented by James Watt. This invention has resulted in the invention of many other machines which are used various type of fuel. Due to these technological advances, many other human activities which are done in the name of development, many environmental and social issues have arisen. Climate change is one of the such issues resulted in due to current technological development. Although the economy has also benefited due to the economical growth is hampered due to several reasons such as population growth. Nevertheless, Sri Lanka has implemented several policies and strategies to continuously improve productivity as done by many other middle-income countries. For this, we are in the process of continuously improving our economy through developing value-added products in fisheries, agriculture, improving industry and services using global knowledge and domestic capabilities, and also reform in financial markets, and fostering competitive service sectors. Sri Lanka must prioritize its development strategies after 30 years of civil war. There are many challenges that we have to address immediately to sustain our development and economic growth. These include reconciliation of society, improving the financial market, managing municipal solid waste, and sustainable utilization of natural resources in the market-driven economy. Natural sciences play a major role in successfully addressing the development challenges. However, this should be done considering the social factors and social relationship also in a manner suitable to our local conditions. Therefore, I would like to thank Professor Abhiratna, Dean, Faculty of Social Science, for guiding his academic staff for organizing this third International Conference on Social Sciences 2016 under the theme Global Challenges of Development Social Science Perspective. This is of utmost importance because social sciences, which is wide variety of disciplines, has much to offer in providing powerful insights in order to local as global development. This conference provides a forum for academics, researchers, policymakers, practitioners, professionals, and other interested parties to familiar with a diverse audience and interact and share views on issues of mutual importance for policy making. Let me also commend the conference organizing committee for organizing this kind of currently relevant conference. I wish all the success of conference. Thank you.
Now that I do warmly welcome on stage the chairman of the University Grants Commission, Professor Mohan De Silva, to share his thoughts with us.
A very good afternoon to all of you. Venerable Mahasangha, Honorable Secretary to His Excellency the President for Sri Lanka, Mr. P.B. Abekon, Vice Chancellor of the University of Kelaniya, Senior Professor Sunanda Madhum Bandara, the Dean of the Faculty of Social Science, Professor Abhiratna, distinguished invitees and the local and foreign faculty, members of the council, senior professors, and all other academics, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, may I most sincerely thank the Honorable Vice Chancellor and the team for inviting me for this inauguration of a very important international conference. And looking at the theme of this conference, Global Challenge of Development, Social Science Perspective. As a scientist from another specialty, which is a little different from social science, I thought I will take this opportunity to share with you my thoughts on the challenges the expert social scientists of today in the globe is facing to meet what the society is expecting from you. Make, create and innovate is the new global language. The technologies, as the Honorable Secretary mentioned, is expanding rapidly. As we all know, change is inevitable, but it's the speed of change that mattered. And with the rapidity of explosion of information and communication technology, the world is becoming smaller and smaller, and it is actually surprisingly fast. So we have to accept the fact that we are living today in a very technological oriented, technical world. So with this type of rapid development, invariably there is competition. The world is competing. When I say the world, the human beings and the countries and the nations are competing for land, for technology, for even propagation of different ideas, and very complex religious dimensions, and the global power of finances, as well as military power. And this power competition has become the rule of the day, and it is affecting, and it has a huge impact on the survival of the planet in itself today, in which the world has become almost paranoid about the technology. And I mentioned this at the beginning because this is the challenge the experts who are seated here, the social scientists, have. What is your role to contribute to this complex, technologically driven, technologically paranoid world? And it was only a few days ago, to be precise, on the 25th of September this year, I saw casually, when I was glancing through, one of the interesting news item in the British press. This is what the British newspapers said of what Professor Stephen Hawking, the world-renowned scientist, said. As you all know, Professor Hawking is considered as one of the world's best scientists of today. And I'll just read these two sentences of what he said on the 25th of this month. It was reported on the 25th of this month. I quote, "British physicist Stephen Hawking has warned against announcing our presence to alien civilizations, especially to those more technologically advanced than humans. Our first contact from an advanced civilization could be equivalent to when the Native Americans first encountered Christopher Columbus. And things, he says, did not turn out so well at the time. So we are expecting a similar thing. If a society far out there in another galaxy gets to know that we are here, so if they come, he, as a very distinguished scientist, feel that we will be like the Native Americans when the Christopher Columbus found America. The reason why I mention this is because the world in this technologically driven society has become so not only complex, but we have become very paranoid about it. So with this type of mechanical type of global development, there comes clash of ideas, clash of cultures, clash of religions, and eventually clash of human behaviors. Why is that? Because of the mindset of human beings. And as a medic, I'll tell you, mindset is related to the human genetics, and it is something to do with the human evolution. So these so-called cutting-edge scientific discoveries and technology cannot address these questions of mindset. And that's where you come into the picture. You all are the experts in social sciences. You all are the experts in social sciences. So you all have come together because you are actually confronted with a philosophically important challenge, which is to analyze, to deliberate and find solutions to these very vexed issues of how the human mind should be addressing in a very technologically driven world. So that is, in my mind, is the challenge and the definition of the so-called cutting-edge research in social sciences must be about. So you, who are seated here, coming from different parts of the world, has a huge challenge and a task. So this international conference, I feel, is an ideal setting for sharing of this type of ideas. Looking for some interesting research questions arising from this type of thoughts, and looking at the same question from different dimensions, and such academically stimulating discussions on the research findings in this type of high-level research conferences of international stature will see the emerging of new research questions and the new answers. And that may have, who knows, a major impact on the mankind itself. Because you all are supposed to be the creators for this, not the technologically driven people. And such deliberations actually will blossom very new and very novel ideas. And that is the way, as I see it, the way forward for social science-based research of today. So, ladies and gentlemen, while congratulating your Vice Chancellor and the Dean and this able team of organizers for organizing this very important international conference, I conclude by wishing you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your fruitful thoughts with us. As I have mentioned before, there are outstanding figures behind every academic endeavor, and the Dean, Faculty of Social Sciences, Professor A.H.M.H. Aberatna, had always been playing a vital role for the accomplishment of various academic achievements throughout his tenure. This conference is the second successful event that he convenes as the Dean of the Faculty, and I do cordially invite Professor H.M.H. Aberatna to deliver his speech at this inauguration.
Venerable sirs, our chief guest, Mr. P.B. Abekon, Secretary to HE, the President Maitripal Sirisena, who is a highly respected member of the alumni of the University of Kelaniya, Professor Mohandi Silva, Chairman, University Grants Commission, Professor Sunanda Madhum Bandara, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Kelaniya, Deans of Faculties, Chief Coordinators of the conference, Dr. Kularatne and Dr. Semasinghe, the keynote speaker, Professor Kamarul Shaman Askand from Malaysia, Member of the Council, University of Kelaniya, Dr. Prem Wattage, Mr. Shinichi Shimoshe, Mr. Mutoni Nashuka, Mr. Hinshi Nagashawa, Dr. Tilak Mallavarachi, and Professor Rakesh Bhattabial, invitees of this conference, heads of departments, senior professors, and members of the academic staff, registrar, bursar, librarian and the engineer of the University of Kelaniya, members of the organizing committee of the ICSS 2016, members of the academic administrative staff and the non-academic staff, presenters and participants, ladies and gentlemen, very good afternoon for all of you. It is my great pleasure to deliver this address to you at this historic event, the inauguration ceremony of the third International Conference on Social Sciences 2016, organized by the Research Center for Social Sciences, Faculty of Social Sciences, University of Kelaniya. The Research Center for Social Sciences of the Faculty of Social Sciences is one of the major, important and largest academic forums organized by the university that helps researchers to present their findings. Research Center for Social Sciences gives priority to organize this academic forum to motivate and encourage researchers in the relevant fields. This is the third time we have organized this event, and we are very pleased to attract a number of researchers both locally and internationally. The vision of the Faculty of Social Sciences has always been to become a center of excellence in research in social sciences. In this sense, this conference plays a pivotal role in giving a platform for excellent research not only for the academics of our university, but also for international academics. I have no doubt that an academic forum of this magnitude will assist researchers from multidisciplinary fields enhance the quality of their research by sharing their experiences and expertise by way of presenting and publishing. I know that the University of Kelaniya, particularly under the leadership of our Vice Chancellor, Professor Sunanda Madhumbandara, is championing this cause. I would be failing in my duties if I do not mention the support and the guidance given by the Vice Chancellor to take this forum, that is the Research Center for Social Sciences, forward since its inception. His visionary leadership to promote research in our university has been exemplary. By establishing the Research Council at the University of Kelaniya, he has led from that front. We now have a growing interest amongst our staff members and even our students to present and publish because of the initiatives taken by the university. We value their contribution by rewarding them with Senate honors, Vice Chancellor's awards, cash awards, and other ways of recognition. This has increased research activity in the university. Since 2004, the Faculty of Social Sciences spends more than 20 million rupees to develop research activities of the faculty members annually. I am pleased to mention that at least 50 members each year have so far taken part and presented their research findings abroad using generated funds in the faculty. The Research Center for Social Sciences of the Faculty of Social Sciences was able to organize this third conference on the theme Global Challenges in Development, Social Sciences perspectives. You know the theme. Under this theme, we expect to cover a wide range of topics related to the social sciences. Our faculty has 9 departments and 18 degree programs, and I am proud to say that researchers from all these departments and degree programs are present at this conference. There are very senior and experienced scholars and promising young academics among them. The main aim of this conference is to research amicable solutions to challenges faced in social sciences in the world. We may not be able to achieve such a huge task in just 2 days, but we are hopeful that this conference will provide ample inspiration and motivation to look for the answers in the future. I am happy to see a large number of foreign delegates amongst us today, and I am proud to say that our university and our faculty have gained international recognition visible through our web ranking in South Asia. In addition to this conference, the Faculty of Social Sciences and also the University of Kelaniya hope to organize many other conferences in the near future. Conferences like this nature give us an opportunity to share our knowledge and network with a large number of academics in Sri Lanka and overseas. We know that knowledge should be shared for the betterment of mankind. I expect all of you to have a fruitful conference and most of all enjoy these 2 days at the University of Kelaniya as well as Sri Lanka. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for giving such an insight to the achievements of the university. After assigning the duties as the Vice Chancellor of University of Kelaniya by Senior Professor Sunanda Manduma Bandara, over the past few years, it was clearly witnessed that there is a quantitative as well as qualitative increase in many of the academic activities, not only among the university academic staff, but also among the undergraduates and postgraduate students of the university. This particular conference was first initiated by the present Vice Chancellor in year 2008 when he was the Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences. And sir, your dedication and profound vision had been great encouragement for all the academic activities of the university, and I'm proud to invite you to address this distinguished gathering on this special occasion.
Honorable Mahasangha, Mr. P.B. Abekon, the Secretary to the President of Sri Lanka, Professor Mohani Silva, Chairman, University Grant Commission, Professor Kamal Man Askandar from Malaysia, Professor H.M.H. Chaberatha, Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences and other Deans of the faculties, senior professors, professors and other members of the academic staff, registrar, bursar, librarian, distinguished invitees, members of the administrative staff and non-academic staff, dear students. Today is another important day to University of Kelaniya because today we are witnessing another great academic event at the university. I am very happy to note that the University of Kelaniya has now embarked on a new era where research is given very high priority. During the last 2 months, several international research conferences were held at the university, and in the next few weeks also there are many more to come. Every department and every faculty of the university are now very keen on doing research and holding research conferences. This was what we expected by establishing the Research Council of the university. One of the main objectives of establishing the Research Council was to encourage our staff to do more research and also to get our students involved in research. Holding large number of research conferences at the department level and at the faculty level clearly indicates that large amount of research is being done in our university. The University of Kelaniya is very proud that it has produced many distinguished alumni. There are many internationally and nationally renowned alumni of our university. In any field, there are many such persons. We are very proud of them. Today, we have here one of our very distinguished alumni. He is none other than the topmost government official in the country, Mr. P.B. Abekon, the Secretary to His Excellency, the President of Sri Lanka. We are very thankful to you, Mr. Abekon, for accepting our invitation and coming to your alma mater to grace this important occasion. The university is very proud of you, and your presence here today is a great honor to us. I must thank the Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences and the organizing committee for selecting a very important theme for this conference. That is the global challenge of development, social science perspective. The United Nations in September 2015 adopted 17 sustainable development goals to be achieved by 2030. We are aware that with the development, many social and environmental issues have arisen. Due attention has to be given to these issues in order to make the development sustainable. For this, not only research in the field of medicine, science and technology, but also research in the field of social sciences is very much needed. Ending poverty, ensuring quality education for all, ensuring gender equality, providing clean water and sanitation for all, ensuring decent workplace for all, and promoting sustainable economic growth are some of the sustainable development goals where social science perspective are directly involved. Not only that, to achieve other sustainable development goals, also social science perspective play a significant role. Therefore, the theme selected for this conference is extremely important in the present day context. I sincerely hope that the deliberations made at this conference will contribute not only to enhance the knowledge base in the diverse disciplines of the broad area of social sciences, but also contribute towards making our development sustainable. I congratulate Professor H.M.H. Abhiratna, Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences, Dr. M.G. Kularatna and Dr. Semi Singh, the coordinators of the conference, and other members of the organizing committee for their unstinted efforts in making this event a success. I wish this third International Conference on Social Sciences 2016 every success. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Today's keynote address will be given by Kamarul Askandar, the Professor of Peace and Conflict in University of Science, Malaysia, who is one of the renowned international scholars who has been here to share his valuable academic knowledge. And it is a great privilege for us to have your presence here, sir. So that I do kindly invite Dr. Oshantha Thalpavila to introduce the keynote speaker.
Thank you. Good afternoon to everybody. It is with great pleasure that I introduce the keynote speaker of the Third International Conference of Social Sciences 2016, Professor Dr. Kamarul Askanda. Professor Kamarul Askanda, or Dr. Sam as he is well known, is a professor of peace and conflict studies and a peace activist. He is presently based at the Research and Education for Peace in the University Sains Malaysia, Penang. Dr. Sam is also the regional coordinator of the Southeast Asian Conflict Studies Network, a position he has held since 2001. He is a member of the Hermes EU Mediation Standby Team since 2013 and has also been representing the Southeast Asian Conflict Studies Network in activities of the mediation support work. Professor Sam is involved as a steering committee member in a number of regional organizations and networks, including the Southeast Asian Human Rights and Peace Network and the Global Partnership for the Prevention of Armed Conflict. He is also a member and Malaysian representative of the Council for Security and Cooperation in the Asia Pacific since 2008. Professor Sam sits on the advisory board of a number of institutions, including the Consortium for New Aceh, the People's College of Patani, the International Center for Aceh and Indian Ocean Studies, the Aceh Institute, as well as a few journals in the region, including the Asia Pacific Journal in Philippines, the Manipur Journal of Peace and Conflict in India, Journal of International Studies in Malaysia, and Journal of Peace and Conflict Studies in Thailand. Professor Sam has been involved in peace building and peace support work in Southeast Asia over the last 20 years. He has been working mostly on self-determination type conflict issue in areas like Aceh in Indonesia, Mindanao in southern Philippines, and Patani in southern Thailand. He has been active in organizing dialogue sessions between conflict parties and stakeholders and facilitating peace building, capacity building programs in the region. He initiated programs such as the Dream Keepers of Patani in the southern Thailand, the Penang Peace Seminar, the Consolidation for Peace for Aceh, Mindanao, and Patani, the Mindanao Educators Peace Summit, the Aceh, Mindanao, and Patani Peace Program. Further, he contributed to the Southern Thailand Universities for Peace Program and the Mediation and the Reconciliation Services Program. Professor Sam is also the Penang Peace Learning Center, a school for Rohingya refugee children in Penang, Malaysia. Professor Sam obtained his first degree from the West Texas University in the United States of America in 1987 and completed his master's degree in the in the University of Texas in Austin in the USA in 1989. In 1996, Professor Sam graduated with a PhD from the Department of Peace Studies, Bradford University in the United Kingdom. He also holds certificates in conflict resolution and negotiation and mediation awarded by the UK Conflict Resolution Network in 1996, and peace mediation from the Federal Department of Foreign Affairs in Switzerland, the Center for Security Studies in Zurich, and Swiss Peace in 2011. In 2014, Professor Sam and his partner, Dr. Aisha Abu Bakr, were awarded the Japan International Cooperation Agency, or JICA, President Recognition Award for their peace-building work in Southeast Asia, especially in the areas of Bangsamoro in southern Philippines and Patani in southern Thailand. Apart from his academic career, he is also interested in music and sports. Especially, I know he is a good musician and a good rugby player. His keynote speech will be on the global challenges in development in social sciences perspectives. So, accepting our invitation to be our keynote speaker, I wish to welcome him to address the gathering. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everybody. Mr. P.B. Abiakun, the Secretary to the President, Professor Mohada Silva, the Chairman of the University Grants Commission, Senior Professor Sunanda Bandara, the Vice Chancellor, University of Kelaniya, Professor Abaya Ratna, the Dean, Faculty of Social Sciences. Ladies and gentlemen, I will not attempt any other names because they are difficult to pronounce for me, but suffice to say that I would like to thank the organizers of this conference for this honor of talking to all of you in this the beginning of the conference. I'm very humble and a bit embarrassed as well, because I'm not from Sri Lanka. My name is long, but it's not a Sri Lankan name. It's a Malaysian name. And I'm honored that I've been invited by the organizers to give the keynote speech. And I was wondering why also, because my background, as mentioned by my good friend Osanta just now, is basically in peace and conflict studies. And, oh, it's gone. And I was thinking, the conference is on development and social sciences, and I'm not, in development studies. I'm basically, yes, in social sciences, and I'm thinking that maybe this is because when we talk about development, well, it's part of social sciences. It's very closely connected to social sciences, but it's also very closely connected to peace and conflict studies. And when we talk about development, it's basically talking about peace and humanity. And there are many challenges, not only for development at the local level, but there are many challenges for development at the national and also international, global level. And basically, we can ask ourselves, what is needed for development, and why is it necessary for us to have development? And for me, somebody from a peace and conflict studies, I've seen many situations where, there is sort of like a competition, okay, in terms of thinking, what comes first? This is like your chicken and egg question, whether the chicken comes first or the egg comes first. And many people will be asking whether development comes first or peace comes first. And I would say that there is really no debate between development and peace, or peace and development, or development or peace, because both, in some kind of different way, would actually come together. And especially if you look at the many situations where you have conflict situations, development will always be an issue. One of the source of the conflict, of the war, is because there is a lack of development. There is poverty, there is underdevelopment, there is no access to education, there is poor health care. You have all those things that are related to development that have become sources of conflict in these conflict situations. I've worked in many conflict areas in Southeast Asia, especially in Indonesia, in the Philippines, in Thailand, and I see this in all of these areas. Conflict areas are usually the poorest areas in the region, and that has been caused not only because of the war situation, of the conflict situation, but that was basically one of the reasons, why the conflict and the war have happened in the first place. So development is, of course, a very important issue. And so if we have the challenges, of development at these various levels, and they are the sources of these conflicts and wars in many situations, I think, to address the question of how we create peaceful situation, we would have to address this question of how to bring forward, the areas, how to bring them out of from underdevelopment to development. And I would also argue that, when we talk about, because social science perspective is the focus of this particular conference, but I would also argue, as has been mentioned earlier by one of the speakers before me, that there is also the contribution from the sciences that we need to look at. And just last month, I was at this conference organized by the Malaysian Academy of Sciences in Malaysia, and they were basically looking at how science can contribute to peace. And it was a big question, what can science do for peace? Okay, and the argument is that science has as much to contribute as well, because they can find better ways for us to live, and in conflict areas to build better and cheaper shelters and houses for refugees, providing the technology to provide better basic necessities of our life, to create better and sustainable environment, to increase yields in our food production, so on and so forth. So science has that contribution that it can make, and this should then be married with the contribution that social sciences can make. And in terms of finding the solution to these challenges for development, the international community, especially the UN, if you look, have been coming up with various strategies to handle this situation or to address situation. For example, we have the Millennium Development Goals, and then followed up by the Sustainable Development Goals, as mentioned by the Vice Chancellor just now. And if we look at these goals, for example, just to remind us, what is the Millennium Development Goals all about, and you see, all those things that are important to our basic life: to eradicate extreme poverty and hunger, to achieve universal primary education, to promote gender equality and to empower women, to reduce child mortality, to improve maternal health, to combat HIV, AIDS, malaria, and other diseases, to ensure environmental sustainability, and to develop a global partnership for development. And all of these things then are continued into the Sustainable Development Goals, which has been introduced in 2015 as part of our global goals. These have become our aspirations to create a future that we want, a future that basically nobody is left behind, a future that will address all of these problems. Then this become the global goals. And you can see no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, all these things. Some of them have been carried forward from the Millennium Development Goals, but there are also some new ones over there. And these then form part of what is known as the global goals. And these global goals, we hope to be able to reach this by the year 2030. And there have been, a lot of activities done to achieve this goal. Just last week, in fact, we have the International Day of Peace on the 21st of September. And this year's theme basically is the Sustainable Development Goals, Building Blocks for Peace. Now, how do we get, how do we get to what we want to be, and how to build all these blocks and to combine them together, and with the hope that once we have achieved these 17 global goals, then we will have peace. Okay, so these are some of the challenges that we have to achieve. So some of the global challenges for development then would include achieving these global goals, as has been said by the UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon during the inauguration or during the celebration of the International Day of Peace 2016. Let us all work together to help all human beings achieve dignity and equality, to build a greener planet and to make sure no one is left behind. So there are some key words in there, some key words: working together, all of us, the science and the social scientists, the people at various levels within our society, the leadership, the academia, the NGOs, all working together to achieve dignity and equality, to ensure that no one is left behind. Because if people are left behind, then that will be a source of conflict in the future. And this kind of thinking, it's not only in the UN. If you look at, the other agencies, and this is the World Social Science Report 2016, produced by the International Social Science Council together with the UNESCO, the UN Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, and looking at inequality, inequalities as one of the main factor, for us to achieve if we want to have sustainable development goal. And if you look at this report, Irina Bokova, the Director General of UNESCO, wrote in her foreword, and I'll just read, what she said in her foreword. The world is converging around high levels of inequalities, and they matter. Inequalities in individual living standards have, on average, declined between countries. Sustaining this progress and extending it to those countries that have not yet benefited is crucial. But this should not come at the cost of neglecting inequalities within countries, the level and progression of which undermine economies, social inclusion, and environmental sustainability. So, as a country, yes, we want to be rich. We want to be comparable to the other countries, to the other richer countries in the world, but sometimes we tend to neglect within our own country that there are various, levels within our society, and we have to be able to address this inequality within our countries as well. She continues that inequalities are multidimensional, multi-layered, and cumulative. And this report makes clear that understanding and acting effectively upon inequalities require looking beyond income and wealth disparities to capture their political, environmental, social, cultural, spatial, and knowledge features. Untangling such complexity is a challenge we must fully take on. If we are able to develop policies and solutions that are feasible and sustainable. So we need to be looking beyond, because this is a multi-dimensional problem that we have. And lastly, says that countering inequalities requires robust knowledge, but knowledge alone is not alone. It's not enough. The challenge is to improve the connection between what we have, what we know, and how we act, to mobilize the knowledge of the social and human sciences to inform policies, underpin decisions, and enable wise and transparent management of the shift towards more equitable and inclusive societies. In this sense, investment in knowledge is a down payment for informed change. And in some respects, even the knowledge we have is not fully adequate. Social science research agendas equally require revisiting. The report calls for a step change towards a research agenda that is interdisciplinary, multi-scale, and globally inclusive, creating pathways for transformative knowledge, and that inequalities are a major concern for social science today. So basically, what we have and what we know, need to be connected to how we act. So that is why, it is important, when we have conferences like this, so it's not only the academic people talking, but how then we translate, what we are discussing, the knowledge that we have, into policies that can be implemented to improve the conditions, the situations within our society. That is why, the sessions that we will have tomorrow, where you have different panels talking about different themes and trying to find out, what's the problem, how we overcome this problem, and to connect them, because this is a multi-layered, issues that we have, and to connect them and to come up with policy recommendations. Okay, these are the areas that we need to be aware of. These are the questions that we need to be asking, and these are the solutions that we can be giving, to provide for a betterment of the situation. So we need to be able to do that. And lastly, she also said that let there be no doubt, investing in and closing the knowledge gap in social science research into inequalities will be vital to achieve the cross-cutting ambitions of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, and that to leave no one behind tomorrow. Again, investing into closing the knowledge gap in social science research. So that's what we need to do. We need to be thinking and rethinking, what are the things that we have to be addressing, from a social science perspective, and then to be able then to narrow or to even make the gap disappear, and in the hope that no one is left behind. So I do not have much time. I'll just go straight to overcoming challenges. What do we need to do, to overcome, some of these challenges? And I would argue that, again, as I mentioned earlier, to put things into perspectives, local and national context, we need to be looking at these sustainable development goals, or these global goals, and see how to translate and implement them within each and our own country and society. Because I think the SDGs, have been thorough in looking at what aspects within our society, need to be focused on and need to be resolved. So we need to look at them and how to translate them. And then the roles of theories and the need for theory formulation based on local experiences. Okay, this is also very important, because we have a lot of theories going around. In social sciences, depending on the fields that you are from, political science, economics, sociology, we all have our own theories about how to look at a particular situation and how to address the situation. But there is a need to continue, rethink this theory and to come up and formulate new theories, in order for us to find the most suitable answer for our own situation. So, for example, here in Sri Lanka, I think we need, to formulate new theories based on the Sri Lankan experience, which might be different, from cases in other places. So there is a need to look and relook again, at this theory. Third is to deepen the research, deepening research and understanding in specific fields, but widening the scope of studies to include other related fields. Meaning that in each particular social science field, political science, for example, we need to relook again deep into the theories of political science as we have today. But at the same time, to see how they are also connected to other theories, within the social sciences, to deepen and to widen the thinking. Doing action research is important, because action research meaning that we do not only do research just to create more and more publication to be put in libraries, to be gathering dust and nobody reading them. Okay, that's not, I think, what we want out of our work. We want our work to be meaningful. We want our work to have an impact on society, to improve the humanity, to improve life for everybody. So we need to be constantly think and rethink what is it that we are doing. Are we doing a good enough job at doing research? Are we addressing the proper questions? Are we asking the proper questions? And then to go out and to experiment, with the things that we do. Like I said earlier, I work in the field of peace and conflict studies. And it's always constantly think and rethink what we are doing, because to achieve peace within society, there is no one single answer. Okay, if that is the way, if there is only one single answer, then it's easy. We just come up with the solution, one answer, and then move on. And then I'll quit teaching, I'll quit doing research, become a farmer or something. I will not have a job, which is okay. I don't mind. I don't mind. But we need to consider that. Well, just last week, I was in Cambodia. On a meeting looking at peace processes, because peace processes, they, all the peace processes, you have to be very careful how we come up with the peace processes and how we implement, the decisions that come up from the peace processes, because most of the conflicts around the world basically would fail, the agreement would fail, and the conflict will come up again within 5 years, of the agreement. Many of them, about half actually, will come back to conflict. So we need to constantly look at, what is it that is causing this to happen. And many of the conflict situations and many of the conflict of the peace processes, they also take usually a long time to achieve, its goal. When I started working on the Mindanao conflict situation in southern Philippines, for example, when I started working on that 16 years ago, I have very short hair. Now I have very long hair. And I promised my friend some years back that, I will only cut my hair, when the conflict is resolved and we finally sign a peace agreement. I don't think I will be able to cut my hair, unfortunately. It was close, it was close. This year we were supposed to sign everything and have an exit agreement, and then things collapsed, because the agreement basically was shut down by the Philippine, legislature and all these things, and we were all disappointed, and I'm also disappointed because it's getting very expensive to buy shampoo and conditioner for my hair, and it's getting heavy, But unfortunately, the situation is such that peace processes would get stuck. And last week in Cambodia, we were talking about how do we unstuck the stickiness in the peace process. And the consensus is basically not to look at the stickiness, the situation that is stuck, as a failure. Because if you look at everything in life, and especially if you look at peace processes, okay, you fail because first, sometimes we neglect to prepare, for whatever problems that might come up. Sometimes we are not comprehensive enough. Sometimes we just want to move things quickly, and we neglect this factor or that factor. Or we have wishful thinking, things will get better, we will talk, people will come, we have that. Okay, then it gets stuck. But every time we get stuck, it's always like there is a blessing in disguise, because now that particular point is a failure. We overcome that, then we move forward. Okay. For example, in 2008, in the Philippine peace process, we got stuck basically because the Supreme Court of this Philippines decided that the peace process that we were doing basically was unlawful and unconstitutional. And we've been working on this for 10 years. And then suddenly somebody told us, well, it's unconstitutional and it's unlawful, meaning we can be arrested. Okay, so what do we do? Because after that the situation became violent and all these things. So what did we do? We need to be able to move forward, and we need to be able to bring guarantors that can guarantee the process that we were doing. So after that, we came up with a plan to include the international contact group. We have countries, we have international organizations as part of this guarantor group to ensure, to walk with the process. So you have that overcome, and then you move forward again. So every time you are stuck, there is always a blessing, in disguise for that particular moment, because you come up with something to get it unstuck. So that's part of what we were doing. We were doing the process, but we were also doing research, action research, looking at whether we are doing it correctly or not. If there is a problem, how do we overcome this problem? And I'm talking from the perspective of peace and conflict studies, but I know that my colleagues in social sciences, many of them are also doing, the same thing. We look at society, we look at the situation, we try to come up, or apply some theories to the particular situation, and to then move on. Okay, so that is something that we need to continue on doing. And then other ways of overcoming the challenges that we have now include, what we have here in this conference is to empower young researchers and scholars, and to encourage people to improve, not only on doing their research, but improving research publication and dissemination strategies, making sure that what we write about would be disseminated and to be read. And doing research, sometimes, well, not sometimes, a lot of times costs money, and we need to be able to improve also our funding strategies, both at the local and international level, and to create, for the creation of trust funds, for example, tapping private sectors, finding partners within the private sectors that will, that will support our activities, because we need money, to do all these things. We need funding, so we need to be creative, in looking at this. So in my experience working in the peace and conflict field, I usually found out that, outside donors have been more generous as compared to local donors. I don't know why. Outside donors meaning from outside the country, sometimes from outside the region, the Europeans, the Japanese, the Koreans, as compared to my own country, Malaysia, and the countries around the region. But we need to change this trend. We need to allow for greater funding at the national level. Increasing number of research universities is also something that we need to look at, because many of us, we want to do research, but then we are sometimes burdened. Not really burdened, because that is part of our work, to do teaching and all those things. But it would be nice if we can get our teaching load to be lightened up a bit, so that we can then concentrate more time also on doing research and expansion of knowledge into society. So the university administration people need to look at giving our staff more time to do research, and to provide incentives to do research. Which is why my university has been very good in this. University Science Malaysia is the only APEX university in Malaysia. APEX is Accelerated Program for Excellence in Malaysia, and we get more funding from the government to do research, and also we are provided also with more opportunities to do research, including less teaching load and all those things, so that we can concentrate on research. Then lastly, we have to encourage research collaborations at the national, at the regional, and also at the international level. And this is my last slide. Don't worry. I think we are in time. When we look at the challenges, for social sciences, I would like just to, I would like to put them in a box, where, I just want to raise, some some areas, some areas, which I think, we have to look at in terms of looking for the answers within our society. And just to show that on the left side, you have the various focus of social sciences. You have political science, peace and conflict, security, public administration, international relations law. You have economics, sociology, anthropology, social work, as your traditional departments or sections of social sciences. But if you look at on the left, all of them, would or can contribute answer to the problems on the right side. And the problems on the right side, would be part of the problems that you need to be able to address, if you want to find peace within our society. Okay, depending on which country you are from. So, for example, in Sri Lanka, you have, I think, a number of issues there, that you can concentrate on. You have reconciliation, you have reintegration, resettlement, livelihood issues, issues that have caused the conflict within Sri Lanka, to emerge, over the years. Minority, majority relations, political space, inequalities, good governance, and all those things. And I think if you look at the problems over there on the right side, on the left side, the answer can be coming from the right side, but in a combination type of strategy. Okay, so that's why we said earlier, that the problems are multi-layered. The problems need to address, in partnership, with all of the actors, not only one actor, but all of the actors at all the different levels. And I know that tomorrow we will have our different panels looking at, selected topics, and I hope that, they'll be able to discuss, some of the important issues that can be, that can be raised as part of the global challenges, for development. Because these are not only, I argue these are not only global challenges for development, these are also challenges, for all of us, for humanity. And in answering, the questions, in finding the answers to these problems and challenges for development, we are also improving, society as a whole. And to me, that is a noble activity, that we are all doing. So again, I said earlier that I was embarrassed to be talking here. I still am embarrassed, but I'm honored, that the organizers have asked me to talk to you, this afternoon. I've presented in general, what some of the global challenges and how social sciences and the perspective of social sciences can be useful from the perspective of somebody who's working in a peace and conflict studies area. But at the end of the day, it's about what we think, is right, what we think we should do in order to create a better situation for all of us, for humanity, and for, well, basically for all. Again, congratulations to the organizers for organizing this conference, and thank you very much for listening.
Working together to help human beings, and the research that we conduct should not just fill the research libraries, but they should be action research. I've just got it from your speech, sir, and this is what actually we also endeavor to do from this particular research conference, and that's why we have included certain panel sessions in order to contribute for the national and global level policy making, and to work hand in hand with several and relevant sectors in the society in order to find problems and solutions. So thank you very much, sir, for disseminating your scholarly thoughts with us, and it's very interesting, and you provide food for thoughts. Now that we have already reached to the end of our inauguration ceremony, and I do kindly invite Dr. W.M. Samasinghe, one of the chief coordinators of Third International Conference on Social Sciences, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon again, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Now we have come to the end of the inaugural ceremony of Third International Conference on Social Sciences 2016. My task is to express our sincere gratitude to the on behalf of the organizing committee and RCSS to the distinguished guests who have taken part in this inaugural ceremony. I will not take much time because I feel that many of you are rushing to leave this place sometimes for the next sessions. First and foremost, I would like to express my gratefulness to Mahasangha for the participation for this event. And also, I would like to be grateful Mr. P.B. Abekon, Secretary to the President, who spent his valuable time amid a very busy schedule to grace this occasion as our chief guest. In fact, we have reasons to be proud of you because you are a product of University of Kelaniya. Also, I would like to extend our gratitude to Senior Professor Mohan De Silva, Chairperson University Grants Commission, for being with us here this evening and encouraging us to conduct this conference successfully. In fact, he was with us here 3 days ago at the opening ceremony of this venue. Thank you, sir. Senior Professor Sunanda Madhum Bandara, Vice Chancellor of the University of Kelaniya. We would like to thank you for everything you have done to make this event a success. You have always helped us in academic research works and for the advancement of the university. We would like to place on record our gratitude. We would also like to convey our sincere thanks to Professor Kamal Saman Askanda, Professor of Peace and Conflict Studies of the University Saints, Malaysia, and our keynote speaker who has come all the way from Malaysia to make this event a success. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. We would like to express our appreciation to all distinguished invitees of our country and from other countries including Japan, Malaysia, Australia and Indonesia who have accepted our invitation and being with us this evening. Professor H.M. Abhiratna, Dean, Faculty of Social Sciences, you have been live wire of the whole exercise and we would like to place on record our appreciation and gratitude. Thank you, sir. Our appreciation should go to Professor M.J. Sujiratna, Chairman of the Research Council of the University, for his valuable guidance and financial assistance for the success of this conference. We also would like to express our gratitude to the council members of the University of Kelaniya, deans of the faculties of the university, all professors and head of the department and staff members, and also librarian for their participation and encouragement. Thank you very much, you all. We also appreciate the participation and help furnished by the administrative staff, including Registrar Mr. Karunaratna and Bursa Mrs. Tenakon. Further, we would like to extend our special thanks to Works Engineer Mr. Gunaratna and his staff and to Assistant Registrar of the Faculty of Social Sciences and to the non-academic staff of the faculty. Thank you very much for all. We would like to extend our gratitude to all our sponsors for their financial assistance to make our conference reality. Thank you very much. Finally, I would like to extend our appreciation and gratitude all chairpersons, rapporteurs, volunteers and participants for being here this evening. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And thank you very much for your gracious presence here today. And now that I invite all of you to enjoy the refreshment that is prepared for you at K1201 Hall. And the next technical sessions will be started around 4:15 or 4:30 perhaps, depends on your time of having the refreshments. And I hope you will have a wonderful research experience throughout this conference and have a wonderful evening. Thank you.